Thank you, Chairman. So I'll be ever so brief because I know there's a lot of people who still need to testify. And I'll give you a brief piece of history, if you give me just 1 second, for my testimony. You'll be able to see it later once you read through testimony. But we are all friends of or fans of political history. I'm sure you all are. And I'll go back to 1937 when the first ever minimum wage was passed. In 1937, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, during one of his fireside chats, said this: "Do not let any calamity howling with an income of $1,000 a day executive tell you that a wage of $11 a week is going to have a disastrous effect on all American industry." What that translates to is, don't be fooled by the outrageously rich business lobby that tells you that the sky will fall if they have to pay their workers a fair wage. Now, FDR at that time was fighting for a 25-cent an hour wage, right? It took him 5 years to do it. He had to fight the Congress for 5 years straight. He had to fight the Supreme Court. It took bold moves to set the floor for the first ever minimum wage. And I say this because, you know, each and every time that this argument comes up, you've been through this argument for the last 2 or 3 years, 3 terms, not this specific one, but on minimum wages, is that the sky's going to fall. I'm going to have to close my business. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to fire people. It's never true. As a matter of fact, the people who end up lifting and raising their wages, they expand. They grow bigger. The proof is in the pudding. They're able to come back here and testify again. But those people never go away. It's the same business owners and business lobby that comes in again and again. So I wanted to impress that upon you because it was a bold person or a bold man at that time that was able to push the wage up then. I'm urging you to do the same thing now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ray. Any questions for Mr. Ray? Representative Giarrusso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't vote for FDR. I mean, I may have, but the only thing that there was a little leak in your argument,
sure,
and it has nothing really to do with this, but with minimum wage. There is definitely data to show that every time minimum wage goes up, so does unemployment. And also, there's other things that go on as the wages get really high. There's automation. You know, I'm sure FDR never thought about a self-service gas station or self-checkout at Stop and Shop and everything else that they're trying to come up with machines to get rid of people. That's all. It really wasn't a question. It was just a comment.
Right. And Representative Giarrusso, with all due respect, what I will say is innovation is a gift and a curse of man. But that doesn't mean, and it really means, you know, you gotta do what you can to make sure that the people who are employed still, not the robots, not the machine, are paid a fair wage so that they can sustain themselves. And we know that these jobs are automated. The reason why I use the basic minimum wage as an example, because the studies never differentiate between the large studies that tell you to lift the minimum wage never differentiate between the 2 tiers. It never says lift the wage for the folks at McDonald's, but don't lift it for the people at Captain Jack's. And that's something that we have to be cognizant of, because when you go into Captain Jack's or McDonald's, I mean, for you it's the same thing, but for that worker it's not. For that worker, they're dealing with the $2.89 an hour, and they're figuring out how to cobble together a decent wage as each and every hour goes by. And we know that if you're working at Captain Jack's and, you know, you're selling discount lobster, people come with discount money. And it's something that we all should be cognizant of. Thank you.
Where you from? We don't have Captain Jack's over here. Where are you from?
I'm another import. I'm from the next state over, from Connecticut.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
That's quite. We